Because when you're trying to find just regular people and doing a casting call when nobody's heard of the show or never heard of our production company, it's very difficult to do that. And so I think a lot of people, Gavin has a funny story too, to be like, was this spam? Like, are you serious?
Gavin, I'll start with you. Obviously all of these stories are so emotional. And so I was very curious, what do you hope people take away from your story and your peers' story on the show?
Yeah, I think it was really interesting to watch everyone else speak to, and people I may have had nothing in common with, like Athena. You would think we didn't have much in common, but being able to relate in some specific way helped me feel like I wasn't alone. So I hope that no matter what you're going through, what you've been through, what you're still processing, I hope that you know that you are not alone. And I also hope that people take from this sort of a model to or a framework to how to process and how to have these kinds of conversations with other people and how to heal.
Definitely. And then, Nicole, as the showrunner, executive producer, and also a director, I was curious if you could just talk a little bit about how you found these heroes, how you found these people to share their stories.
Instagram was our best friend. They had categories and searchable hashtags. And so we were really able to we started with kind of 10 themes or topics that we thought were really relevant, that were affecting young people. And we started to dive deep into those themes and looking at people that were already speaking on those themes, that had stories that they were kind of already comfortable publicly sharing. And then we ended up talking to hundreds of young people, just hearing story after story. Then we started partnering with directors that each had, that wanted to tell stories on a theme. And so then we were able to call down about 3 to 5 choices for each director. And then together with the producing team, with the director, selected the person's story that they wanted to tell. But it was interesting because when you're trying to find just regular people and doing a casting call when nobody's heard of the show or never heard of our production company, it's very difficult to do that. And so I think a lot of people, Gavin has a funny story too, to be like, was this spam? Like, are you serious? But it was all, we wanted to be really real and authentic. Kishori and I have talked a lot about wanting to redefine exceptionalism and redefine what stories get to be told. And we all have a story worth telling. And so we really wanted that to be apparent. And that's how the process laid out.
Definitely. And then for you directors, I was very curious, how you guys came about visualizing how each story was told in that hybrid manner. I don't know if there's so many of you and I have so little time. So whoever wants to jump in and offer that up, that'd be great.
It was, it was so much fun. I heard Nicole in another interview say that it was almost not accidental, but it was sort of by necessity that the show ended up being shot in sort of a studio environment and this hybrid type of format, which is so amazing because it works so well and it's so beautiful. The entire series is just visually so stunning and so creative. And, that's really to the credit of Nicole and, the entire creative team that was behind all of the episodes. But what was really fun for me was really trying to recreate these key moments of a person's growing, coming of age, period, whether it was childhood or young adulthood. Through almost an adult lens or with a little bit of reflection in there. So it's sort of what I remember about this time now that I'm a little bit removed from it. And visually that, became and how to reimagine it, in a way that felt, partially sort of realistic, but also partially symbolic. So one of my favorite sequences from my episode, which was about Athena and about, sort of body image and body positivity, was recreating. She would talk about this the first time she had sort of an intuitive meal with her friends, when she was on her recovery journey from disordered eating and body dysmorphia. And we were we want to make the Last Supper, but it's the first supper, and so we created this gorgeous feast, with all of these, pop colors and, this beautiful sort of glowing light. And it was such a conscious choice and a lot of discussion about what to put on that table, because how do you visually interpret intuitive eating. And really it came down to like what Athena said in her interview, which is about that food is about, it's not just about like nourishment and, you know, but nourishment can come in forms of community, of culture, of conversation, and, you know, of comfort of all different kinds. And so we were like, okay, we need, that's what we need to replicate. We need like, you know, like traditionally foods that we think of as traditionally nourishing, like vegetables and fruits, but we need carbs on that table. You know, we need grilled cheese on that table. We need, you know, foods that are like ethnically specific on that table. So that was really, really fun. And, you know, just like the whole visual design of the series, I think, is like just such a credit, you know, to Nicole's genius and the genius of the entire producing and creative team.
Yeah, definitely. It was all so beautiful. It was such a great show. That's my time today. Thank you so much. It was really great speaking with you all.